In this part, I'm going to show you the settings that you can change for the template. So let's hop in quickly, and yeah, this is hopefully where we left off. Open project is the 04, synced with the template, and I'm going to hop into the settings tab. I'm not going to explain all of them, and please don't be mad that this is such a mess. Hopefully it will be somehow clear later for you why this is arranged as it is. I'm going to explain most of them, not all, but for the moment most of them. So first line is very easy to understand. If you have a look at the upper row of tabs that are open, you can just open and close tabs that you want to see. I think it's pretty handy if you, well, for me at least, there's a difference between working on a setup and having a gig. So I don't need all of the tabs all the time open. So here I could choose which one, and there are even some presets that I made. This would be all. Yeah, it says all, so guess what it means. Showing all, or this would be for a gig. This would be only mixing on only the two tabs here. I think it's very clear. If you want to have your own setting, additionally to these that are already present, bring up the editor. Control T is just the tab on the side for seeing the widgets. They are called elements, widgets. And Control E is bringing up and closing the editor of OpenStage Control. So if you want to have your own setting preset, your own preset for this dropdown, you would mark the dropdown. And well, I already did this. I'm going to change it. Be careful with this editor here. If you line break here would mean you have to press Shift and Enter, and then you can change line. So if I would have another one here, I would call it, let's say, tutorial, and it would be written like this. And please keep in mind that all this is heavily case sensitive. So whatever you write here in the second part, you have to remember where you use upper case, lowercase letters. This is important. Okay, just to add one to the dropdown would be typing it in here, and then you would go to this. Let's bring up this a little. You would go to this switch, it is called. No, actually it's a matrix, sorry. To this matrix, and you could do anything you want. It's just wrong. You have to stay on this little drop down and go to scripting. I'm sorry, confused again. Go to this drop down and the scripting area here, and you would just copy and paste the last 3 lines of this and hop in. And with this array, okay, first line would be whatever you called it, tutorial, I spelled it, and then you would have to change this array to 0 or 1s for whatever tab you want to see or not. So this is wild guessing here, just to show you. If you now save this, you would have this additional function in your dropdown, and you could just choose it. Okay, just to show you. Sorry, but I'm going to delete this again. So last 2, test and tutorial. I'm going to delete this, and in the values, no, in the drop down. I would also delete these two to have it like I want. Okay. So next part here is, as it says, show index or batch. This refers to, let me bring all of them up here. This refers to this address switch here, where you can choose how to address the sources in Vimix, right? So sometimes, well, I really like to work with batches as I can control several sources with it, and this is the reason why I implemented this. I like to work with batches, so normally I would choose only batch here, go to mix, so the index part of this switch is just, it has disappeared, so this is basically what I need. If you want to see both or just the index, choose whatever you want here. So I leave it at both for the moment. At the very beginning I talked about this input field. You have to insert your project folder path in here, that Vimix that the template can detect all the Vimix mix files that you created. This would be here. I think this you can change that, but normally you should see this folder. It comes with the zip file that you download from GitHub, and normally it's just an empty folder with maybe a placeholder file, because GitHub deletes empty folders. And it should be the same name as here, so nothing to change normally, but as you like, you could change the name here, paste it in here, and it should be recognized. Again, if you change something here, don't forget to press enter in these input fields. Next thing is local sync. I think I said something about it. This is about these switches, address switches, where you choose your current source that you are addressing. So if it is turned off, as you can see, it will not sync. So even here, it is brought up just by having the choice of current here, and this will immediately jump to current in the mix tab. But it will not sync on which source you have chosen. So normally for me there's no need for working this independently on the tabs, so I just leave this to on. Next one, queues time as you type. This will be explained later when I am talking about mix queues and filter queues. Nothing at the moment. So basically it just says that you don't have to press enter when you're typing in numbers, but not in these fields. This is only for the tab mix queues and filter queues. Okay, we leave it on for the moment. Double tap alpha default. Don't know if I already showed. You can turn this on or off. This means if you are here or in the batch, you could by a double tap reset this to default. Default is 0. But normally I would say I don't need it, especially on touch screens. I'm sometimes a little bit too shaky, I think, and a double tap is done quickly, so I leave it off. This is for later on if we're going when I connect clients. I will show you. It's just a table of IDs and IPs, corresponding IPs. The flash fade out time. I think I already mentioned it. If you are flashing in and out some sources, like I do here, oh, I'm sorry, you can control the speed of the fade out here. So even with a very low number, it would be very quick. But I think it's nice to have a little fade out. Okay. Show infos. This is also about the mix file. You see in the background, you can see little info text on what the rows mean. Color correction on off. Contrast is actually the actual chosen feature of color correction here. And if you turn these to off, they are just gone. Also the play and fade here. So there are a few more on other tabs. I don't know which ones exactly. You have to figure out. Okay, labels. Another thing. If you normally the template discovers the tokens that are used in Vimix and just writes them down here, and also in the current switch where you can address your sources. You can, if you don't want to work with these tokens, you could change it to index numbers, and then you would just have the index numbers. It's basically the sequence of files that they are presented here in Vimix. Auto copy clipboard, also a feature that I normally would turn off, maybe on, depending on how you are working. This means that if you want to address something by name, you could just click on one source. If it is selected, it automatically copies the whole name to the clipboard for convenience to paste it in here. But as I said, I don't like to have my clipboard always full of something. I'm just going to turn it off. Yeah, a little QR code. This is interesting when I connect clients, when I want to connect clients. So this means basically other devices, tablets, phones, Raspberry Pis, whatever you think of that has a camera and a QR detector. You could just come to the interface just by scanning this. Maximum sources per bank. I don't remember, maybe I already told you. We have 3 banks in total, so there's not space for more of 3 banks, but you could say here how many clips, how many sources should be shown per bank. So if I type 5 in here, it's only 5. I implemented this because, yeah, well, sometimes I use a phone, and this is, the display is very small, and then it gets quickly a little bit fiddly to control the sources. But normally I'm going with 8 per bank because my MIDI device has 8 columns. So going back to settings, we have auto detect state files and auto load state files. I'm going to explain this a little bit later when we are about to talk about saving. This is yeah, that's another chapter I'm going to talk about. Here's one other thing. If you don't like the colors that I set up for the different addressing here, you could change these. Just get to the drop down, choose whatever address you wanna change its color. Let's say badge should be more of like a very dark. If you found a color that you like, you could hit the save color button and it would be presented in the color of your choice. That is basic. Oh no, forgot one. This is a button to save the Vimix file. So remember that most of the things have to be saved within Vimix, like the initial state, or let's say you did a deform or geometry changes on your clips. You would have to save this in the Vimix file to make this permanent. So there's this button. a little confirmation, because sometimes if you are carrying around a tablet or whatever, accidentally pressed this button. This is just a confirmation. Yes, I want to save it. As you can see in Vimix, it is saving. Okay, so I left out this big box here. These two buttons are corresponding to this, but I'm going to explain if we are talking about saving states of the template. And before that, I want to show you something that I am actually very that I really like. So these are the CUES tabs. So let's start with this tab. With these CUES, we are able to save certain states of our clips. Very handy, as I think. So let's say there's this one moment where the clips should be like this. Let me quickly change everything to screen again, that we can see something. Okay, let's mix something that is not too chaotic here. Maybe this one, and no. Let's get rid of this one. Okay, just for the sake of having something. Let's say we want to save this state of our clips as a queue. I would hit save as queue, and as soon as I did that, something happens in this tab. So I have a queue now. So this means if I now change, let's say, everything to black and come to my tabs, I could hit this queue, and as you see, the state would be restored. Not restored, it would fade into the state that I set as queue. This is awesome, I think. This is really awesome because it makes work, especially if you work for others, a lot easier. And of course, you can save these. I'm going to explain later. You have the possibility to do this for batches also. So let's say this would be another state that another queue that I want to save. I would hit save as queue, and I would have this. So the little LED, it is called here in Open Stage Control, the little LED indicator shows you if it was saved from the batches or from the index categories, and even a little, sort of an overview about what is happening. So every part of this curve is one of the sources. I think this is pretty helpful. So of course, if it is already in the state, nothing happens, but we can now fade from one queue to another. And there's even another thing I want to show you here. If you're not happy with the words, maybe you want to write down what is happening on stage, that you have an idea what comes next. You could go to this names table. I don't know if you, yeah, it is still names table, and here you could rename your queues. Okay, this would maybe prologue. Hit enter, don't forget it. I'm repeating myself, but yeah. As soon as you hit enter, you would have another name for your prologue. Just for the sake of seeing it works, we would say this is maybe opener. And there you go, opener prologue. Pretty awesome. The same thing, nearly the same thing goes for filters. I implemented this additional filter queues tab here where we can store our filter queues. Let's say we have, remember that filters are only available for cloned sources, right? So let's say if we solo this out, this is the clip we are working on actually at the moment. Let's say I want to have a blur for that from here to there. I could even go with another blur. Oh, I just like this algorithm. It's so nice that Bruno implemented this. Really like this a lot. So yeah, and see, it kind of has a depth in it, and yeah, nice one. Okay, whatever. We could save this as a queue also. In the filter queues tab, we now have this queue. It is unfortunately at the moment not as neat and tidy as this one, but it does its job. We have 3 buttons: play forward, backward, and back and forth, or forth and back, depending on the current state it is. Just to see what we are in. Going forth, we're going back, and we can go back and forth with a little indicator in which state we're on. If you're not happy with the time that you saved here, you could also change this later on, maybe to something very quick. Go there and go back and forth. Nice, very nice. I like this very much. Just to see that there can be more of them, let's grab another source. Let's solo this, have another custom, maybe an edge with a different algorithm, thresholding or contour. Okay, start and end point. And here you can see the values, and save this also as a queue. We have another one. The colors here correspond to the colors of the different filters. So every different filter has its own color, and you can see it here even with this little text here, giving you a quick idea of which source you were working on, the filter that you choose with the algorithm that you were using, and the value, start and end value. Very nice. Okay, so nice and all, but if you know how Open Stage Control works, this would mean as soon as you close your session, everything will be gone. And this brings me to the save and load functions of Open Stage Control. This is something a little bit confusing, I think, but hopefully you can follow along. I'm going to explain. So let's say we have these mix queues and these filter queues. We go to settings, and now there are these 2 buttons saying save chosen tabs state to disk. What this means is you have to choose here which tabs you want to store on your disk. So normally for me the mix tab and nearly all of the other tabs are not that interesting to save, because normally I would save a mix state that I want to have on startup within the Vimix file, right? So in settings, normally I would choose just mix queues and filter queues, and maybe the settings if I changed something that is not the default, and I would hit the save chosen tab. So I just have to control something. Oh, I'm sorry, there's an old one. I just want to show you what happens if you're on a fresh setup. Sorry. Okay, so just going to create, no, I'm sorry. Going to create some queues very fast. Okay, save this as a queue. Then a batch queue, save this one, and another one, save this one. Quickly do some filter queues here. Oh, by the way, there's another thing. As you can see, this one, the last one, very last one, maybe it's better to see here. The very last one doesn't carry the name as it is in Vimix A2. This is because A2 is already present in Vimix. So I wrote a little function that avoids double naming here because it confuses Open Stage Control a lot. So these wouldn't just show up. So they carry the name number index if they are detected twice or more. So just a little note. Okay, we have 3 queues. We have one here, maybe another one on G2. We're going for, I like the blur. Let's do this with an opening, blur, save it as a queue. You can't see it because I just filtered it out. So let's go with this one. Okay, I just realized the last one I saved was not what I wanted. So I could, as you can see, I have 2 of them here, but the last one wasn't good. So I'm going to delete the last one and back to 1. Perfect. Now it's better. I'm going to save this one. This goes also for here for the mix tab. If I have a setup, if I've saved a queue that I don't like, it's only working for the last one, keep in mind. I could delete it. I could delete it back to 3. Everything's perfect. So now we are in the settings tab, and I want to save the state of the mix queues tab and the filter queues tab. So I'm gonna mark them here. Settings, okay. And there's a little pop-up window telling me that no matching state file could be found. The reason for this is I'm not able to create files on a disk via Open Stage Control. You can prove me wrong, please do, if so, if you are able to. I couldn't find any possibility. So giving you a little instruction what to do. When you read this, you come to the conclusion that you can copy the path. So let's say you didn't know where you had to go, you can copy the path. Then you're in the folder where you should say create a new file. You can create the file name by copy the file name, do right click, text file, paste in the file name. This is what it should be named. I'm going to tell you why in a second. You have to open this file once with an editor of your choice and type in curly brackets open and close. Save this file, get rid of it, maybe have a look at the size of it. 5 MB is well. And yeah, after you create it, come back here and press once this button, and now you're able to save. So it's not saved yet, but if you hit this once again, I don't know why. So we are once again, I had a bug in my code. I got rid of it. Now we can take things further. So we were in the settings tab. We created this state file according its name according to the mix file, the Vimix file. And from now on, since I lost my queues. Okay, just gonna create maybe some more. And the same with the filter queues. Maybe here's something, doesn't matter for the moment, just so we have something. From now on, with this file created and the 2 curly brackets in it and saved, we can from now on save our chosen tabs. So just to show you what happens if no tab that you want to save is chosen here, you will get a little note here to mark something, and after that you can save it. As you can see, the file got bigger. If I open it, there's a lot of data in here. And from now on, this is where you can save states of your tabs. To reload these states, so let's say we deleted all our queues here. And we want to have them back. I would say, okay, I want my queues and the mix queues and the filter queues back. Maybe not the settings, just these two. And I would say load chosen tabs state from disk. So if there is nothing detected with the same name as the Vimix file 04, it will throw you an error saying, hey, there is no file, please create one. The same as we saw with this. So, and now there's another part of this saving procedure. This is, for example, you can turn on auto detect state files. What this will give you is, let me just show you if we change the project. So wait until it loaded. So assume we are working on something else, blah, blah, blah. And we come back to the session that we were working on. There will be from now on this note. If you switch on this button, auto detect state files, you will receive a little pop-up telling you that there is in this folder, in this saved states folder, that there is a corresponding state file. What do you want to do with it? So in my case, I would say yes or no, don't. So load or don't load. Or you can from here you can set another setting. It's auto load state files. This would mean if you say yes, always load them, this will automatically set this to on, and from now on the little pop-up will be gone and the load file will be there from startup. I think this is pretty nice. So just to see this working in action. So now this is only one file. Yeah. No, I think I made my point here. Nothing more to show. Only thing is, if we these two these are dependent on each other somehow. If we say auto load the state files, it has to be auto detected, of course, and the other way around. So if we don't want to auto detect state files, we cannot auto load them, but you can, of course, switch this on and off in the logic that I just told you. Okay, I think this is it for the settings, and just ignore these two buttons. They will be gone soon. It's just for testing purposes, for my fun. I think I told you everything about the settings now. Hopefully, let me just check. There is no. Great. I think I am done so far with the template basic functions. Now we get into something different. This would mean connecting clients to it and even hook up our MIDI controllers with it. There's also a template that you can make use of. I will show you in the next parts. Stay tuned if you want to.